Hello, welcome to another live stream. So I have a plan tonight. So we'll just check that everyone's able to hear me first before I get going. So I have a plan. Let's just wait until the stream catches up and wait till people can hear me. And then we'll get started. Good afternoon. Okay, looks like we're live. So if anyone can just confirm that we've got audio, make sure we've got some audio before I explain what I'm doing. And in the meantime, let's just watch these birds walk around. So hello, welcome to another live stream. Good evening, sounds good. Okay, thank you. Leslie, let's have a look. Who's in here? Birdman, g'day Birdman. Peter Hall, how are you, Peter? Kath's in here. G'day Kath, how are you? Ultimate, good afternoon Ultimate. Leslie, how are you Leslie? Audio good, okay, thank you. Alright, audio is confirmed. There's a few little birds getting around. They've been feeding this whole time I've been here. I've zoomed in on the camera so the quality is going to look a bit crappy. But yeah, look, I have scouted around a fair bit. And to be honest, there's nothing that I like. Okay, so I'm back to the old trusty 4 trees. And I want to get a very simple shot, a very minimalist, very simple composition. We're at that time of year where, let me just zoom out again. They're all around us. We're at that time of year where we start to get some side light. Okay, so the sun is setting slightly to the southwest. So now we're starting to get some nice side light. And yeah, look, I'd love to have some cloud. It would be nice to have some cloud. But I just think it might work. If I can get that wind to completely stop and we get a perfect reflection, the tide's on its way in. So after sunset, the tide should be high enough to give us, like to cover up this little bit over here. So that's what I'm planning. I'm planning a perfect reflection and a very minimalistic shot. So I'm going to zoom in on the trees, fill my frame with the trees because the sky's doing nothing. Hey, I'm trying to talk here, bird. I'm going to keep it very simple and literally zoom in. And we're going to do a proper pano. I'm going to zoom in on each tree and stitch each tree together. I've only got my 35mm, but we'll see. We might be able to get in nice and tight. We've got nothing happening in the sky apart from all the birds flying around. So I'm going to make it all about the trees and the reflections, and that's it. That's going to be my pano, the trees and the reflections. Use your stop the wind powers. I have tried it. It is slowly, as you can see, it's glassing off. We're starting to get a bit of a glass off. I'm saving my wind powers for tomorrow, because I'm going windsurfing tomorrow, hopefully. We're expecting some northerlies tomorrow afternoon. G'day up and about, how are you? Oh look, it's lovely out here. It's magic. Diane, hello. Well, how are you, Diane? Now, I just noticed there's a little thumbnail, there's a stamp down in the bottom corner, photos on the bay. Look, I was stuffing around with my streaming software, trying to get names to appear properly again, but it's a YouTube thing, the way the names are appearing. Unfortunately, YouTube have decided to change the way names appear. It always looks perfect when I'm not there. Yeah, look, it is perfect. Look at the glass off. Have a look at it. I've got to take photos. I've got to take photos before that wind comes back, and I do want the sun. I want the sun lower, to tell the truth. And we've got these two birds down under the trees. The plan was just, I saw that there was going to be no cloud. I knew there was going to be no cloud. So I just wanted to keep it simple. I really did. I thought, you know what? Let's do the complete opposite to big epic clouds and colour and storms, and go the complete opposite way. Now, this is going to be tricky because Oh, actually, hello. I better actually say hello to the camera. There's toadfish all around my feet. So if you see me jump, it's because these things are biting my toes. There's at least 10 of them in this. You can see them all out here. There's at least 10 of them in the pool. I've already made friends with the birds, so they're pretty cool with me. How's the microphone now that I've stepped away from the camera? I'll just make sure that it's working out here. But yeah, I'm going to have to sit very still to get these reflections because the water goes all the way back and I don't want any ripples. I do want those birds there. I'll quickly come and check the audio. We've still got a little while before sunset. How was the audio when I was out in front? G'day Linda, how are you? I was hoping you would be live, yes. When there's no cloud in the sky, you can rely on me to be live. How's that? When it's going to be a boring sunset, you can rely on me to be out making the most of the boring sunsets. Because I have my trees. And I have a flippy screen. And now I've just got to wait for this water. So we're going to do proper panos today. Yeah, I sort of had a bit of a review of those pano awards. And it seems to be that most of the winning images, they went to a lot of effort to stitch their panos together. It wasn't just a single shot cropped. They actually went to quite a bit of effort. Oh wow, look at that. They actually went to quite a bit of effort to get their panos pretty epic. Now the problem with this place is I can't, see 35mm is perfect. I can't get any tighter because if I go in closer, the trees blend into each other. If I move in close, that tree in the middle would then start to, your whole perspective changes. So where I am now is as close as I want to get. That is as close as I want to get. So I'm going to focus on the closest tree. So I'm going to shoot at, let's go F11. F11 for our depth of field because I am shooting at 35mm. And again, my histogram is absolutely perfect because I've got the sun out of my frame and we've got that nice side light. Now I'm actually going to zoom out. Let's go to 30mm because I want a little bit each side. About there looks nice. And again, let's get down really low. Just make sure I'm focused on that front tree. Get my horizon level. Bang, first shot of the night. And yeah, look, very simple. The reflections are horrible. The wind's just... So what I'm just going to sit here and wait. I'm going to sit here and wait till these reflections glass off again. I can just feel that breeze kicking in. I need it now. I want it while that sun's there. Come on, wind, just stop a bit, please. Just stop a bit. I need a glass off. I need a perfect reflection. I need the Perflection. Oh, get off my ear, Mozzie. All right, we're nearly there. We're nearly there. And I've got to keep my shutter speed fairly fast because there is a bit of breeze. I want those leaves still. That was one of my fails in the previous attempt that I did. I tried to go for a long exposure to create movement and it looked like garbage. I didn't like it at all. Okay, I'm just going to refocus again. Again, the ripples are just a bit too ripply. Look, you can see, I can walk through my scene because we've got water. Have a look at this. This is all fish down here. And that's what the little birds, I think they're heron of some sort. I'm not a bird person. But yeah, let me come back. Just while that wind kicked up a bit. Let me just put my camera down while I talk. I don't want to be standing here holding it. Okay, here we go. All right, so yes, hello, welcome. Afternoon, I was hoping you'd be live. Audio's still good. Birdman, g'day Matt, how are you? He would have had a beer. Yeah, Matt left me on my own with no beers, but that's all right. That's okay. Near Dundarren Beach, yeah, exactly. I'm out near Dundarren Beach. Yeah, it's a good walk. G'day Shane, how are you? Yeah, it is a fair walk. It takes around about, if you walk quickly, it's about 45 minutes. Tonight it took about an hour because I got chatting to a few people along the way, which always happens at Dundarren. Lots of people out walking their dogs. So yeah, hello and welcome. So yeah, I know the title of the screen was Scouting. I did scout, and I just didn't find anything I liked. I went back further deep into the mangroves. We're glassing off again. I'm going to go and take photos. I'll be back. Yeah, I went off deep into the mangroves. I've got to walk gently so I don't stir up too much. I can hear bee eaters everywhere. Okay, so where are we at? Let's go to 30 mil. What are we down to? I'm still at F11. I'm at 1/40th of a second. I'm going to focus on that tree. Hold my camera very steadily. Yeah, the reflections are... Come on, wind. I would need that wind to completely stop. It has to be a perflection, not just a reflection. The sun's doing stuff. We've got really nice side light now. Those trees are lighting up with gold. That reflection, I needed to stop. Come on. I'm just going to keep firing away, hoping that the ripples just stop for a split second. It's almost perfect. It's almost a perfect glass off, but it's not perfect. I'm just going to keep refocusing. Oh, the wind stopped nicely then. Come on. Oh, that's good. That's almost it. That's almost. Let's have a quick review. Oh, that's really close to perfect. That's really close. The colours are just, wow. Again, this is what I wanted. I just wanted a very simple... Here I am like trying to get epic clouds and epic colour and storms. And you know what? I'm going the opposite way. After looking at those Pano Awards, I want to do something different. It was like after, I had another look at them later, and after reviewing them, a lot of them were similar. A lot of the photos were similar. Big epic mountain ranges and stormy clouds and dramatic skies. I want to throw in one or two that are just different. Okay, come on, wind, stop. We're right on sunset. I need my shutter speed to remain fairly fast. So I'll just quickly show you. There's the sunset. We're almost there. I don't want the sun in my shot. Let me just zoom out a little bit so you sort of get an idea of the ultra wide. Okay. Perflection, yes, new words. I love making up new words. It does look magnificent. It does. Deep into the mangrove sounds like something out of a horror movie. Yeah, look at the midges were bad in there. You kind of get blocked by the wind. And I did find a really nice mangrove tree, but I was there for no more than 30 seconds and I was getting destroyed by midges. All right, I've got to this is the shot. This is the shot. I just need that wind to stop. I need to be down low. And every now and then those birds are coming into my frame, which I love. I'd love to be able to get one of them framed up perfectly with my Perflection. You know what? Let's get one with the sun in the shot. That looks pretty bloody good to tell them. Well, wow, actually, you know what? Wow. I've got the sun balanced with the tree on the other side. Wait till you see these. That's actually balancing out really nicely. I need to stop talking and wobbling. I'm just taking lots of shots just to try and get the ripples in between that wind blowing. The wind's kind of picking up a bit now. I look over that way and it's just perfect. It's just wind. Okay, it's just stopped. The wind stopped. We're right on sunset. Have a look at that sun. Okay, the wind has stopped. Alright, I'm gonna take my aperture down to f9. I need more light in here. Come on, wind. We're right on sunset. We've lost that golden glow that I had before, but it's still nice light. I'm going to hang around for blue hour too, because blue hour will do things. See, look at all those ripples now. That's what I don't want. I don't want ripples. I don't want ripples. But let's do some anyway. They might add a bit of texture to the shot. They definitely add texture to the shot. Oh, there's a bird flying past and I missed it. Damn it. My shutter speed's too slow anyway. It would have been a blur. Oh, I'm just going to stay here until I get that light. My legs are cramping up. I feel very awkward sitting here, but I've got to get this shot. The wind is just killing it at the moment. It's perfect. If I look over the other way, it's perfect. There's like a little deep patch. And where the water's deeper, you get more ripples. Matt will know that from the windsurfing. The deeper the water gets, the rougher it gets. And it does even affect ripples, to tell the truth. Just enough ripple there. Come on. Come on, ripples. I know, I could put it on the tripod, get a longer exposure. That will smooth it out. But I want that glassy look. All right, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. I've got lots of shots. This is the most shots I've ever taken in one sitting, to tell the truth. Alright, yeah, the sun's just doing nothing now. Alright, so now it's time to wait for blue hour. We're right on sunset, but it's just not really creating any sort of light at all. You know what, I've got to do it, don't I? Let's zoom out again. Let's zoom out again. Let's get out to about there. We've got to get the actual sunset. We're here for a sunset. We might as well take it. Let me zoom. Where was I before? That's better. Alright, let me show you what I've got. Let me show you what I've got. The sun has pretty much set. Perflection, the sun, yeah, the sun was nice. Love that soft light, exactly. And that's what I was going for. I was going for that very soft light type look. Okay, so here's the first photo. And there is a bird out there. If I just zoom in, come over this way a little bit. So I have got the bird out there in the distance. So that's nice. And then see there you can see the reflections. Let me get in a bit closer so you can see it a bit better. So the reflections, yeah, look, I want that perfect glass off, and I just kept firing away. There's a couple there that are okay, but watch this when look at that. So I've got the sun balanced out with this other tree on this side. So that in a pano could work all right too. Okay, because you've got to remember these are panos. I'm going to be cropping the top and the bottom. That one I might even do like a 3x1 or an X-pan crop. So that I don't mind with the sun balancing out with this tree over to the right. That works okay. And then we're back in and look at those ripples. Those ripples don't look too bad, but it's not what I want. I really do want that glass off. and then we're back to the start. So yeah, look, it's I'm going to hang around for blue air. Look at it now. Look, you bastard. Now look, the wind's completely stopped, but we've lost that light. It's hard. Photography is hard. I had the perfect light. I had that sun with the side glow. I had everything I wanted, except the wind was blowing, and now look at it. Now it's the glass off. The only ripples coming out are from me. Yeah, bastard. Better be windy tomorrow, I'm telling you. Okay, now, as I've progressed with my photography and finding my style, I find my images are very simple now, as I personally prefer it. That scene right there is beautiful. Thank you. Yes, and yes, I've noticed that with yours as well, Ultimate, and that's, yeah, look, it's, you know, you've got to, simple images are the best. It's as simple as that. Sometimes they can get too messy. If your eye starts to wander around and there's too much going on, that's when an image can get messy. In saying that, you still want enough in your frame. Like, you know, I don't like negative space. So to me, all of this blue sky up here is negative space. And all of this down here is negative space. But if I crop it in, let me pretend I'm a cropping machine. And if I crop it in like that and keep everything kind of in the middle of the frame, then, you know, we're getting rid of all this nothingness up the top. And the reflections are really nice too. So, you know, it's, yeah, simple photos are nice. And I've noticed that with yours, the separation you're getting between your dogs and the background is really nice. Keeping it very simple and clean. So yes, you're doing really well, Ultimate. I love your photo. Always have loved your photos. Very good. The tree on the far right looks like a bat with the reflection. Oh, where? Oh yeah, this one here, is that the one we're talking about when I'm down low? Let me have a look. See, I love things like that. I love when patterns appear. And that was like, that Pano Award, that volcano with the skull, that is just, that's the best photo. Yeah, oh yes, look at that. Wow. Good spotting, Linda. That's really good spotting, thank you. Just for spotting that for me. I will bring you out here one day if you want to walk for an hour. Look at that. That is well done. That's a good thing with live streams. People can actually find compositions for me. I'm going to go and frame that up. No worries, Ultimate. It's, you know, I've been a fan of your photography for a long time. And it just keeps getting better. And that's the thing, you're going to have your ups and downs. You're going to have days where you just think you want to give up and you've had enough, and you do. You go through, there's all the stages of photography. You just got to enjoy it and you will get better. If you enjoy your photography, you will get better at it. Ripples add texture. They do, but that's not what I'm going for in this shot. I've got shots with ripples, and I've got shots with the sand, and I sort of planned the tide. The tide was high enough that I don't have, because you remember from the last live stream that I did, we had all the ripples in the sand, which I love. That's probably still my favourite shot so far. But yeah, the tide's just a little bit higher. It's coming in. We need those really low tides to get all the sand ripples. I wanted that really simple. And look, I'm still going to hang around for Blue Hour. I have a plan. Tonight we've got almost our last crack at the Milky Way. And the Milky Way, let's go for a walk. And I'll get that bat shot soon. As the tide comes in, that bat shot will get better. When the Milky Way arrives, okay, so I'm sort of looking northwest at the moment. Oh, look, there's a toadfish. Look at him. What are you doing? He's trying to hide. Oh, he's gone. If we come over this way a little bit to the bat tree, I did suss out the bat tree before, I just didn't see the reflection on it. I might even hang around till Milky Way time, because the Milky Way is going to be right across the horizon. And this is when I said I was scouting, I sort of came over this way. Yes, so true. Almost sold all my gear at one stage. Imposter syndrome is real. It is. You look at other people's photos and you think, wow, how am I going to even get close to that? And then you look at other people's photos that sell and you think, how do they sell images? So anyway, Milky Way will be right across there. So, and this is that bat tree that Linda was just looking at. Look at that. If I can sort of, let me go back to wide angle. I don't know if I'm a Milky Way photographer. That's the only thing I'm sort of worried about. So I'd have to shoot wide. But if we got down sort of lowish and did our Milky Way over that tree, that's just another option. But yeah, I don't know. I think I need a proper astro lens. I might give it a crack next year. Get out to Round Island, do my Milky Way over Round Island, or even out at Fraser Island. I think we might need to make a trip out to Fraser. So this is what I mean by scouting. This is what I was doing before. I was just sort of coming around. Now, I don't like all the sand on this side. Love the reflections on this side. Kath, please keep going, Crystal. I love seeing Tinky updates. You definitely have the eye for photography. Absolutely. Crystal is very good. We're going to do a live stream one day. I'm going to get you on camera so everyone can see, even if it's just behind the scenes. People need to see you, Crystal. So, and more importantly, we need to see Tinky out here. So again, if we get down nice and low, like look at that. That's kind of what I was out here trying to frame up. But they're nice, but I prefer my 4 trees. I don't want to do the cliche single tree. I don't know. I just think, as a judge, if I saw, you got to remember with those Pano Awards, they're probably looking at thousands and thousands of images. And I can guarantee you there's going to be a lot of lone trees in there. There's going to be a lot of lone trees. So I think just by having something different is what I'm going for with my Pano Awards. Something different, something you don't see every day. What time would suit for the Milky Way shot? 7 o'clock. So the Milky Way it'll still be up between 7 and 8. So between 7 and 8 o'clock tonight, you'll have Milky Way. And I think moonrise might be around about 8:30. So yeah, anyone in Harvey Bay, if you want to have your last crack at the Milky Way, tonight's the night. It will be across the horizon. So if you look to the west, it's going to be very low in the sky. I'm thinking of staying during blue hour. I would love to get the blue hour with the Milky Way above it. I've done it once before at a sunrise where I had literally had first light and then the Milky Way. Or was it last light? It was last light because I was looking this way. It was. We stayed out. Or was it early? Oh God, I can't remember. It was a long time ago, but I know I've got either first light or last light with the Milky Way. And again, it's just something different. Now look at it glass off. Look at that. Oh, I love this spot. This spot is so good. Sorry, Neil, but I have to do minimal lone trees. Sorry, Neil, but I do love minimal lone trees. Yeah, so do I, Diane. I do too. I absolutely love my lone trees, trust me. But I just think for a competition, I'm trying to do something a bit different. And look, trust me, I will be still submitting some lone trees. I will definitely put some lone trees in the shot. But just something about these ones, I don't know. I like it. I reckon. There's the back camera, hello. Yeah, just something about the way it frames up. And I'll show you what I was talking about before. If I come in closer, you watch what happens to the trees. Here's a little compositional trick. So see, now that tree's getting lost in the other two. So I can't get in too close because I don't want that tree getting lost. So I literally have to come back. And as I come back, the trees start to reveal themselves a bit cleaner. Okay, so now we've got a gap in between the trees. Now I would love to come back even further, but we come back further and we've got this dirty old tree here. So, like, ultimately I would like to shoot from back here, and I think I have in the past. I've sort of shot just sort of beside, kind of, this is why composing can be tricky, because, you know, in this spot, I've only got one spot I can be, and I have to be in here. I have to be in front of this tree, and I can't get too close because otherwise those trees cross over each other. Lone trees are easy, and that's, you know, lone trees are easy. Yes, they're beautiful and they look good, but I just, you know, this is one of those compositions that just, and look, let me show you. If I just come over this way a little bit, again, we start to lose it. We lose this tree into amongst the other one. If we come the other way, now I know I was thinking of bringing the 200mm because there is a shot back further. And then when we come over this way, we lose it behind this spot. So it's one of those shots that, you know, when the sun's directly behind it, you've got no choice. You have to shoot straight into the sun. You have to be here. Okay, and then you get the separation. Then they're actually 4 trees. They're not sort of clumped together. So that's kind of, that's why I love this. It's like you have to be here to get it. It's one of those ones. I was walking through all of these, like look at them all. I was walking through, and I walked past this, and it talked to me literally. It just said, hey, look over this way. Look, toady. I had one of them bite my toes once. All right, we're starting to get towards blue. Oh wow! Actually, yes, we're starting to get towards blue hour. Let me zoom out again. I can see some purple beams of light. Have a look at this over here. There's some nice purple beams of light coming up. So now we're ready for phase 2. Phase 2 is our blue hour, and now we've got purples, blues, oranges. Okay, we're going to need the tripod. We're going to need the tripod down as low as I can get it. I could flip it upside down, but I don't know if I want to be that low, to tell the truth. I've got it all set up to flip it upside down. I'm a bit scared flipping my camera upside down, to tell the truth. It's too new. And there's have the Canon users heard about the R3 Mark III has just been, the R6 Mark III has just been announced. See, this is where I have that dilemma. There's so much colour happening in the sky. How much of it do I want? How much of that sky do I really want? Let's look. You know what? Let's do both. Let's go full wide angle. Okay, so we're still at f9. We're at 1/5 of a second. I'm going to put my 2-second timer on because I can't be bothered getting my remote trigger out. Remote trigger would be the go here, but 2-second timer. Everything will be nice and steady. And now I'm going to zoom in. Now we've got the perfect reflection. Look at it. All right, let's just get right in on those trees. Yes, the R6 Mark III just got announced. Literally just after I bought the Mark II. But look, $4,200 ultimate, $4,200 for the Mark III. I paid $2,700. I paid $2,700 for this. The new one is $4,200. It's probably worth every cent of it, but no, this is all I need. The only real difference is 32 megapixels. That's the major difference with it. 32 megapixels. Apart from that, The autofocus is a little bit better, and honestly I cannot complain with the autofocus on this thing. The autofocus on this is good enough for me. The autofocus on my 7D was good enough for me. Okay, I'm doing actual panos now, so I'm trying to get as much sky as I possibly can. But again, by the time I crop it, I'm going to be cropping out all this colour. Yeah, so look, if anyone's in the market for an R6 Mark II, now's the time to get it. Now that they've just announced the Mark III, it's not that much different, honestly. 32 megapixels compared to 24. Might sound like a lot, but it's really not. It's really not. Yeah, you don't need megapixels. It does have, there's improvements to the pre-capture. The pre-capture is more like the R5 now, where you don't have to, on this one they go into a single file and you've got to extract your individual photos, kind of like your R7, where the new one, your pre-capture is individual raw files. So again, it's a nice to have, but it makes no difference to me at all. I'm still getting all my raw files. I've just got to extract them. Oh, there's a bird up there. What are they? What just happened to my autofocus? Oh, I'll switch it into video mode. Oh, let's do a video while I'm at it. Wow, look at it. Look at those sunbeams. That looks really nice. That looks really nice. Yeah, I've been having fun with the video on this. It's been fun playing around with the video on this. You know what? Let's do an actual pano. Let's do it proper. Let's do it proper. Let's get all that sky. Let's get everything. Okay, focus there. Let's go all the way. Get more than I need. I'll come and check the chat in a second. We're at that stage. The sky's starting to do stuff now. Sky's starting to do stuff. And now we're doing an actual pano. Everything is perfectly aligned. And we'll do one more, just overlap. I always overlap more than I need when I do my panos. Always get more than you need. Now I'm going to do another one, but this time I'm going to really push my highlights as far as I can. We're at half a second now, because by the time I do my sweep, the light will dim just a little bit. Let's get all those trees in one shot. Makes the stitching a bit easier when they're all sort of in one shot. So yes, R6 Mark III. I have absolutely no regrets whatsoever getting the Mark II. I was actually quite happy, to tell the truth, when I saw that there wasn't much difference. Not much difference at all. And look, how do you improve on the Mark II? Like, seriously, this camera is incredible. I will come and check the chat soon. I'm just going to sort of make the most of this light while we've got it. We've got some really nice beams coming out of the side of my frame. You know what? I'm going to give it more room than I need to. We've got perflections at the moment. Let's bump out exposure up to half a second. You know what? I'm going to take my aperture. Let's go up to let's go f14. Then I can get my shutter speed up to almost 2 seconds, which will smooth out the water even more, especially when the toadfish are starting to go off. Stop messing up my reflections, fish. Get out of it. Yeah, so now that the water's getting deeper, that's almost like a real fish out there. All right, while my ripples start to ease away. Have a look at the sky now. Wow. Hey, blue hour, clear skies. Let me just go back a bit. Where are we? The minimal trees, yes, the minimal trees. Yes, I knew it'd come out after you bought yours. Yeah, look, I did. I knew it was coming. I knew the Mark III was coming. I just didn't want to wait. And I sort of had a feeling it was going to be expensive. You know, another 2 years' time, it might get back down to that $3,000 mark, but almost $4,500, no thanks. Yes, you were 2 weeks early, yeah. I'll be sticking with buying the Mark II, yeah, exactly. Look, you get the Mark II and you'll get a new lens for the same price. The Mark III, yeah, look, it's, if you can afford it, yes, it's a better camera, but it's not a lot better. Up and about, I still love the R7. Just let the wife know what I paid for it. Yeah, look, the R7, absolutely nothing wrong with the R7 as well. Look, I was still using my 6D up until about a month ago, and there was nothing wrong with my 6D that was almost 20 years old. A camera's a camera. Yeah. Less megapixels is always better for Astro, absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see the tests when they... And that's the sort of one thing, and everyone sort of said it, that if they do increase the megapixels, it will become worse for Astro. I'll rob a bank and get the R7. Yeah, R7 Mark II could be not far away either. Linda loved the R7. Yeah, look, the R7 is fantastic, especially for wildlife. I would rather have a crop sensor than the extra megapixels, because the crop sensor just gives you so much more reach. R7 has rolling shutter. Look, every camera's got rolling shutter. If you shoot in electronic mode, you're going to get rolling shutter. And yeah, look, I've definitely got issues with the electronic mode in my R6, especially that pre-capture. The pre-capture, you have to shoot in electronic mode. And yeah, I have a few issues that almost tempts me not to shoot in pre-capture. The rolling shutter is pretty savage. But, you know, switch to mechanical. Mechanical give you bigger bit files. And g'day, Scotty, how are you? Welcome. Hello, and yes, hello to everyone. Would you be able to make a video on a question I have? Yes, I'm happy to make videos on questions. Neil, nothing wrong with the R7 for sunrise and sunsets. Absolutely. The R7 is a really good camera. The R7 is basically the R6, just with a crop sensor and more megapixels. Well, really, the R7 is the Mark VI part, the R6 Mark III with the 32 megapixels. I'm just going to quickly grab some more photos, because that sky's doing stuff. That wind, the wind has just kicked up. Have a look at that sky. How good does that look? I need the tree. I need my trees to be the feature. I don't care about the sky. As good as the sky looks, I need my trees as the feature. Okay, we're down to 2.5 second exposure now. How much is that smoothing out the water? Nah. I've got to wait for that wind to stop. It looks horrible. Look at the sky. Welcome to Harvey Bay, everybody. Clear skies. Just get out there. Get out there on clear skies. Have a look at it. As long as you've got a good foreground, it never disappoints, except for when it disappoints. It's always good, except for when it isn't. I've got to take shots while the colour's there. That wind has really kicked up. I want it to kick up tomorrow. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Look at that sky. Wow, that is really nice. That is really nice. I need that wind to stop. I really do. The reflections are... it looks really nice, but the reflections are just not doing it for me. Come on, please, wind, just stop for a second. You can kick in tomorrow. And now there, I'll just notice the bloody trees are moving. I'm going to have blurry leaves. I don't want blurry leaves. All right, let's do it. Let's bump up our ISO to 2000. Go down to F8. Get our shutter speed to 1/15th of a second. ISO 2000, F8, 1/15th of a second. I need those leaves to stop moving. 1/15th of a second might stop them from moving, but now I've got ripples. It's hard. Photography is hard. Like it's not hard to get nice photos. It's hard to get epic photos. That wind has really kicked in now. Picked up quite a bit. Hang on, let me just put this up higher so I don't have to bend over to read. The sky is epic, isn't it? Look at that. This is just another day in Hervey Bay. Like seriously, even when the sky's not epic, it's epic. Yeah, R7 is absolutely fine. Good camera. That's okay. I have shaky eyes. Yeah, I'm a bit the same. I was looking at that tree and then I just realised my shutter speed's too slow. All the leaves are going to be a blur. It's you don't notice them with your shaky eyes. How many photos can you enter into the contest? As many as you like. You can enter as many as you like. I think it depends how much money you've got. I think it's around about, I'm only guessing off the top of my head, but I think it's around about $20 US per image. So convert that to Australian, $20 US is probably about 100 Australian dollars per image. So yeah, they want you to enter as many as you like. They encourage you to enter as many photos as you like at $20 a pop. So, yeah. Okay, I would love to know about the tracking settings, sensitivity, etc. When to use what with examples. People tend not to talk enough about it. Make it confusing and jabber on. You teach things simply. Yes, I haven't played around. Look, I'm going to be honest, I haven't played around with the tracking a lot. I've left it on the default. I've left them all in the middle. Let me give you a quick look at the back of the camera. I'm kind of done with my shots. I've just had to bump my ISO up to 2000. The wind is windy. Let me show you on the back of my camera very, very quickly, because I know the non-Canon users out there will be bored as batshit. But go into menu, and it's all in here. These are all your cases. I leave it on auto, to tell the truth. I just leave it on auto. But basically what it is, the tracking sensitivity, what that does is the more you increase your sensitivity, the more it will track your subject, and it'll be more, what do they call it? More sensitive. Duh. Yeah, it'll be more like it'll jump from subject to subject more often. By having less sensitivity, it'll be more sticky. So it'll get a subject and it'll stick to that subject. Okay, so the less sensitive it is, the more it'll actually stick to your subject. Acceleration and deceleration is sort of similar as well. The more acceleration you've got, the faster your autofocus will track, but the less accurate it will be. So by having your tracking a bit slower, it will be even more sticky. So look, for you, with dogs running at full speed, you'd probably want to crank them up, to tell the truth. If you're working with dogs at high speeds, you'd probably want to turn your sensitivity up. It may not be as accurate and it may not be as sticky, but it will probably track quicker. And the different cases, what have we got here? Continue to track subjects, ignoring possible obstacles. Instantly focus on subjects. Oh, okay, so these are just presets. So you can set up presets. I leave it on auto, and I haven't had an issue yet. So that's why we'll do a session together one day, Ultimate. We'll do a session together and have a bit of a play around with the autofocus. But basically there's two settings. There's one that will it'll be a bit more random where it'll jump from eye to eye. So if you've got lots of birds or you've got lots of subjects, it'll jump from eye to eye or from subject to subject. By slowing it down, it'll become more sticky, so it'll actually lock onto your subject easier without jumping around. So I hope that makes sense. Again, I leave mine on auto because, to be honest, I'm a landscape photographer. I do occasional, I love my wildlife, don't get me wrong, I love my wildlife photos, but I just don't do a lot of it. And with a 200mm lens, look, to be a serious wildlife photographer, I need to get that 100 to 400, or the new RF 100 to 500. I need to rob a bank too. So, who said that before? Was that Birdman? Birdman, I'll come and rob the bank with you, Birdman, and we'll buy ourselves a lens and a camera, because that's how bloody expensive they are. I'll have to have a try. So I've played around with it at Fast SS. I also have my focus point on my photos and eye tracking, but it still misses a lot. That's with subject running towards the sun. Yeah, we'll have a bit of a play around one day, but yeah, I know it can be a bit fiddly, and look, autofocuses aren't perfect. They're just not. They're just not perfect. Like, I know the R6 is very good, but occasionally, look, as good as it is, it will still lose subjects every now and then. That just sort of happens. Unless your subjects, unless you've got like a nice clear shot of your subject, autofocuses are just a little bit, off. So anyway, I'm going to wind it up so I can start walking back while it's still got a little bit of light in the sky, because the tide is coming in. Don't know how well you can see it, but yes, the tide is coming in, and I want to get over onto the beach before it comes in too much. So thank you to everyone who popped in. And that's part 9 of our Chasing the Award-winning image, and I am pretty happy with what I got, to tell the truth. I had a plan. I wanted that simplistic, just absolute minimal. Whether it works or not, I'll see when I get home. We'll go through my photos once I've done another 5 sessions. And I was thinking about it. I just quickly off subject again. With the Pano Awards, we can have animals. Animals and people can be included. So that fail of a morning where I got the pelicans, we could have another revisit of those pelicans, and they could possibly be part of our... I could include them. I've got a couple of those pelican shots, especially with Fraser Island in the background, that, we might be able to do something with them. Because yes, it's animals, people. You can have peers in it, you can have man-made subjects, but they have to be part of the environment, if that makes sense. So it can't be, a cityscape, so to speak. It has to be part of the landscape. So peers were okay, like houses, a lone house on a mountain, something like that is okay, as long as it's within the landscape and it's not just a cityscape. I think you're going to get some good ones from today. Yes, I do. I think I've got a couple that I'm going to be happy with. And again, just very simple, just very simplistic, minimal, different to what we saw when we went through those photos. Whether the judges will like something different or not, we'll find out, won't we, when we submit them. So we might even submit one as a bit of a smoky. Just we'll come up with our favourite ones, and then we'll just throw one in as a bit of a, because we can. Yeah, the pelicans. I do love those pelican shots. They were good. I might even go back and try and get some more before they all disappear with the new camera, because the autofocus will be better. Anyway, I better go. It is starting to get dark. So thank you all again. Matt, I will see you tomorrow, hopefully, and we will be blasting up and down the beach. So if anyone wants to watch a couple of old blokes sailing up and down the beach, we'll probably be down at Shelley Beach from around about 1 o'clock onwards tomorrow afternoon. So, yes, I am going to go, because otherwise I'll just talk crap all night. So once again, thank you, everyone. And next week's looking good. Weather's looking good. Showers. So be prepared for a few more live streams. All right, everyone. I will see you all again soon. And thank you. Thank you and good night.